about to attempt to do something to my hair. This is not a hair tutorial for anybody out there thinking that Ashley. I'm just doing my hair for church, okay? But I did want to come on here and talk to you guys about this, what I'm going through. Like many of you probably didn't even know that I had stopped attending church in person. Now, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I was definitely still watching virtual church, multiple sermons. So I definitely was getting the word and still had a connection with God. So don't get that wrong. I just was not going to my church in person. Still tithing, still doing everything except I was virtual. I had been trying to process for a minute the reason as far as me not going to in-person church, and I still haven't processed it. Honestly, I still haven't 100% figured it out. That's why I hadn't came on here before today to explain everything, because I haven't 100% figured it out. But what I told myself, I said the best thing I can do at this moment is just to give it a month. Go to church for a month, see if you get that feeling back. And what I mean by that is I wasn't getting the feeling of, like when I was in church, I wasn't getting the feeling as if that was my church while I was in there. And I honestly do not think it's the church. Like, I think it's something with me, because like nobody did anything to me. And I know like a lot of people have church hurt stories, but that particular church, they haven't hurt me. So that's not the case with them. Ooh, my arms are getting tired. I'm trying to make a ponytail, by the way. Not like my normal ponytail. It's like a tight ponytail. And usually when I make tight ponytails like this, I do 2 ponytails. So I'm gonna do this one in the front right now. Then I'll do the back next. But yeah, I honestly could not tell you in specifics right now why I haven't been in church. Like, I have my theories, but I think possibly what the issue is an issue of me dealing with expectations. That's why I was like, I don't really think it's the people at the church. I think it's more so me. So I have been talking through this with my therapist, but I have not completely unwrapped and understand completely what's going on. Because a lot of the times the revelations I make in therapy, they're all me. Like, she's just like a talking board. That's how our therapy sessions work. But what I'm thinking is, so I did start back going to in-person church after the quarantine. I did start going for a little bit. And then in the process of me going back to church, we did interview my pastor. If y'all haven't checked the interview out, please check it out, because it was absolutely amazing. But we did interview him. The podcast did start growing. We had obtained 500 subscribers at the time. And before then, we were not like 500 subscribers deep. So more people, more eyes were seeing us. And Ashley got really, really active in the church. So just to give y'all a little background, to be open, honest, and transparent, I started going to the church a long time ago. Probably, I joined the church in 2019. But prior to that, I was going to the church because my aunt was a member. So I would visit a lot. And I wasn't a member because I knew at the time I would be a horrible member. So I just would go to the church when I did go to church. Because y'all know around 2017, 16, 18, I wasn't really in church for real. I was doing my thing, doing my own thing. So once I started going for good in 2019, I knew that was my pastor. I joined the church, And for a long time, I was going to the church by myself because my aunt, she was a member of that church, but she would go to the early morning service and I would go to the 10:30 service. And so my mama was still going to her church, the church I grew up in, and my aunt was going to 8:30 service. So I was literally going to the church by myself. And this was a big deal for me because if y'all don't know, like, I have social anxiety, and so it comforts me to have somebody with me that I know. And I was like breaking that fear just so I could go to church. And so I had a really good like standing going to church record. Like I really did not miss a Sunday at all. I would go to church and then I would go to Bible studies. That's just like what I was doing. And I was doing it all by myself. And then Ashley decided to start going to the church with me. And it did switch up my routine. Now, I'm saying all of this to say, like at the time, when I was going to the church, I was going, but I was still being myself. You know, I was still being meek, mild mannered, just going to church, going on my seat, getting the word. Like I would speak to people around me, but you know, as far as like fellowship and after church, that's just not in my spirit. Like that's just not who I am. I didn't even do it at my other church, and I grew up in that church. So that's what I was doing alone. So when Ashley came, she joined the church and she started getting like really active in the church. Now, when I first joined the church, I was serving, but my serve team wasn't on Sundays. Like my serve team was a decorating team. So we would go on random days, and we were like a really small team at the time. So even then I wasn't like mingling or anything like that. And so Ashley joined, and she was joining serve teams that were like in the front, and a lot of people, and like where a lot of people were getting to know her. And more people at the church were finding out that I had a podcast with Ashley, and I started feeling like all eyes were on me. And that's why I said I do not think it was the church, more so me. Because, of course, how my brain works, it doesn't think rational. It does not go to the rational excuse first. My brain is like, it's them. So, initially, I was, like, blaming them. But, you know, the more I sat in it, the more I prayed about it, the more revelation that I started getting. So, if you're like me, remember don't just jump in haste. Like, really think that thing out. You can't trust feelings all the time. So, I think a big part of the reason is more people at the church knew who I was from the podcast. And so I felt like, okay, these people know that I have a podcast. Like I have a reputation to uphold. So in my head, I feel like I had to be like something I'm not, to be honest. I felt like I needed to be more like Ashley, and I'm not like her. That's just not my ministry. Like I'm not a people person. Like I love people, but I'm not a social butterfly. I am an introvert at heart. Like that's just how God made me. Like being in social settings like that truly, truly made me uncomfortable. And me trying to push myself to be like Ashley, it ran my social anxiety up to 1,000, and I would have huge anxiety attacks before trying to go to church and talk myself out of going to church, because I'm like, I cannot fulfill these people's expectations of me because I can't do it today. I can't pretend today. I didn't feel like putting on the act. So I think that's me getting on camera talking to you guys. I think that was the biggest root of the issue. At the time, I made the issue be that I was trying to join a new serve team and the church didn't call me back. I think it was just, oh, look, excuse. I mean, it did kind of rub me the wrong way that they never called me back, but I knew it wasn't the pastor's fault. And I always said that. I was just like, I have no issue with the pastor, because I know the pastor, it's a large church, and I know the pastor cannot control all this. So I never had an issue with any of the pastors or the leadership at the church. I literally had an issue with the serve team and like, why didn't you call me back? But that should never like stop you from going to church. But it was like when I was at church, I was just like, they're looking at me. They didn't call me back on purpose. They don't like me. I'm not fulfilling their expectations. I need to go home. Let me go home and just listen to the word. So, what I have been doing is I've been trying to work on expectations, like not being concerned about what other people say. Oh shoot, what other people say, what they're thinking. Like, all I should care about is what I did originally, which is going to church and getting the word. Like, I never fellowship before, so why, Shay, do you expect to fellowship now? Like, don't do stuff until you truly feel comfortable in a situation. Don't just like try to go and fake it till you make it, because that's not working for you. And that's honestly what I was doing, and that drove me away, because I was literally driving myself crazy in that environment. So yeah, I think that is, you know, talking to you guys, I think that is a breakthrough moment. I think that I realized that I was just letting people, what I felt like people expected of me, drive me into crazy anxious moments, to the point where I just wasn't going to church. And I honestly did blame it, at first did blame it on the people at the church, not to my pastors. I know I have amazing pastors, so I never blame them. But yeah, and like Ashley, through the process, she did like try to ask me what was wrong, and I didn't have an answer for her. I said that to say this: for anybody who, if they're processing stuff and you know somebody is checking on you, it's okay not to have an answer for them. It's okay not to share with them. Just let them know, like, hey, I'm working through something. I'll let you know if I need you in any way, and leave it at that. I know she told me that she even told somebody at the church to keep praying for me. I was like, oh, man, now people gonna really think I have an issue, and then when I do go back, it's gonna be a big thing, because oh look, she made it back to church, the stronghold is over her. And I was like, I didn't want it to be like that thing. I didn't want it to be that thing, because I was still going to church. I was just going virtually. Like, that was my thing. And then another thing I want to tell y'all, just be comfortable with what you're doing. Like, don't let people's expectations of you get in the way of anything. Like, if I was not going to church just because I wanted to go virtually, there is nothing wrong with that. Like, don't let people guilt you into that, because it's nothing. Like, you're still going to church, you're still getting the word, you're still participating in the worship, like, you're still paying your tithes. Like, I don't get what the issue is. Like, for instance, my mom, her faith and her trust and relationship with God got so much closer during the quarantine, and we were not going to church in person. Like, on Sundays when we were in quarantine, we were watching like 3 different church services. Like, my church, Pastor Todd, and I forgot the other person she was watching. Now she's like into Darius Daniels. She got me into him. But before quarantine, she was not going to 3 services, you know? So I just feel like we have to keep that in mind. At this point, I don't even know if I'm making sense. This clip is 11 minutes long. But yeah, I just want to document this milestone and dig in on here and explain to you guys. So I'll come back to y'all when I finish my hair and show y'all my outfit of the day for church. Okay, this is my outfit. Should I tuck this shirt in? No. Got this shirt from Shein. And this blazer I got from Shein too. Some regular cut up jeans with and boots. Oh, and this is my finished hair. I'm trying to decide on which earrings I want to wear right now. Whew. Oh Lord. I didn't put lipstick on because I'm gonna put a mask on.
So it's talking about the mannerism of the serpent, how it makes itself look harmful. It's quiet. It sits there and it waits. It's in no hurry. It takes its time. It's very divisive. It's cunning is another word of that word. So its approach to getting its prey, it's just not direct. I'm just not going to tell you I'm trying to take power away from you. I'm going to talk you out of it. The wisdom of a serpent to deceive Eve. It's not saying that he was a serpent. Now go to 1 Corinthians chapter 14, and I'm going to finish this out. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14 and 15, and I'm going to show you what Satan looked like. Poured out, and it had to be an exchange of life for life to pay the penalty of sin.
All right, y'all, just got home from church. There's probably some bad lighting, but I just got home from church. Church was absolutely amazing. Now I'm about to try to take some pictures for the page. Enter is served. And I'm doing some work over here on the podcast. I forgot to add an ad when I created this upload. So I'm about to redo that. Hey y'all, this is Shay from the future, currently editing this video, and I realized that I did not end this vlog properly. This is the second time that I've not ended the vlog at all, and I apologize. I promise y'all I will do better going forward. But I did want to add a little context for y'all. In that clip where I ran away from the camera and eat, that was a bee chasing me, y'all, and I thought it was hilarious that I caught it on film, and I had to just slow that thing down and zoom in because I'm extra like that. So yeah, in real life, if y'all ever see me around a bee, that's what you get. No fakeness over here. Just ask anybody that knows me. But I did want to come here and properly end the vlog. Be sure that you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're notified every single time we upload. And then comment down below and let me know how you like this video. And then be sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms. I'll be sure to put them on the screen for you right now. And then last but not least, continue to go out there and be obedient. And I will see y'all next Saturday. Bye.